Say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome everyone to our July regular town board meeting. I'd like to ask the town clerk to call the meeting to order with a roll call.
Councilman Baldry?
Here.
Councilwoman DeShane?
Here.
Councilman Hoyt?
Here.
Councilman Lewandowski is absent. Supervisor Dunn?
Here. All right, we have the review and approval of minutes for the town board meeting of June 12th. I reviewed them. I thought they looked perfect. I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes from the June meeting. And a second? Seconded by Councilwoman DeShane.
Councilman Baldry?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeShane?
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt?
Yes.
And Supervisor Dunn?
Yes. All right, moving on to reports and remittances from department heads and town committees. For the supervisors' reports, we have our financials. I provided them to the town board this morning, and they're also online. So those are our financials through June 30th. Anyone have any questions? Okay. All right, the town clerk's report?
Town clerk fees brought in $256.22. Planning board was $150. Building permits brought in $675. Trash and recycle for the month brought in $2,715. Total revenue for the month was $3,846. Payment to agri-markets for $12 and payment to DEC for hunting and fishing licenses was $37.78. Check going to the supervisor was $3,796.22.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to accept the town clerk's report.
I'll second it.
Okay. We doing all in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Unanimous. All right, highway superintendent.
Luckily, last night, we made out okay with the rain. We pretty much, when we get some dry weather, we're gonna do a little more grading in the roads, but all that's in pretty good shape. We've been mowing pretty much every day. The new mowing tractor works absolutely awesome, so that's good. And we've been ditching pretty much full time, trying to get shoulders clipped up and each year we try to get a few miles of road done, try to catch back up where we should be. So other than that, not much to report. You know, when the weather clears up, we'll grade a few more roads, but everything's in pretty good shape.
That's it, thank you. Thanks, Sharon. All right, the assessor's report. I don't have one. All right, we don't have a report from the assessor. Buildings and code enforcement officer, I don't see Tom. Oh, he did, okay.
31 building permits year to date. That's basically it for the building department that he had. And then planning board, he has 2 minor subdivision, or a site plan review, for bolt storage down here on Route 2. And then a minor subdivision for J. Hakes Road. And then he will be installing an air conditioner at the senior center tomorrow.
Okay. All right. The Grafton Rescue Squad. Do we have a report from the squad? You do?
It was, I thought I could have counted tomorrow.
I may have just missed it. No one's here from the squad to read this. Okay. This says Grafton's Rescue Squad Captain's Report for June 2023. Calls dispatched 13, calls responded 11, 9 with a full crew, 2 with first response only. Mutual aid requests 1, requested to post and kill 1 time. He's also included a breakdown of times, which is in chart form, which I'm not comfortable interpreting for you tonight, because I don't know how to read what they're saying here. Disposition, Samaritan Hospital 4 times, Southern Vermont Medical Center none, Albany Medical Center none, St. Peter's none, Albany VA none, Albany Memorial none, RMA 1, Fire-related standbys, 1. First responses, 2. Canceled prior to en route, 3. No patient found, 0. And dispatch hours, 0. They traveled 124.1 miles in the ambulance and 61.8 miles in the fly car. Total man hours on calls was 32.83. This does not account for any standby hours on duty waiting for any calls to be dispatched, training, or paperwork related. Notes, 13 total calls. 2 were missed, 2 were first response only. June had a couple of trainings in the county that were attended by some members and were very informative. The county will also be issuing a new radio in July that we will be able to pick up in a couple of weeks. Captain Sullivan will be gone most of July on various trips. Any concerns can be brought to the attention of First Lieutenant Chittenden. Okay, there's the rescue squad report. The dog control officer?
1 stray dog on Route 2 with porcupine quills, owner picked up, and 1 stray dog picked up on Brock Road and returned to owner on Backpack Lake Road.
Thank you. The recreation committee.
Hi, Jen. I know Nancy last month had said thank you on behalf of all the committee, but just wanted to say that one more time. I know we had requested about $500 to get approved for the budget. We were way under that, roughly around 170. So very thankful for the community and the outside donators too, for everyone, for the food you brought and for the money you donated. It was so helpful, and it was a great first event we felt that we put on. So. And then we're meeting in a couple weeks to start talking about next upcoming events that we want to plan. Definitely trying to get the community involved again, whether it's donations or contests for the fall and winter that we're discussing. So we'll have some more updates next month.
Great. Okay, thank you. The library.
So checkouts for the month of June, 743 books, regular books, 308 e-books. Patron visits, you ready for this? 454 adults, 88 children, 37 teens. So total, the expedition started in April. And so far we've had, at end of June, 371 adults, 38 teens, and 122 kids, just in Grafton.
For the expedition.
That's
awesome.
The Upper Hudson count for all of the 36 libraries is 26,551 visits to libraries since April.
Arnie's alone has done at least 10 with her son.
Well, there's 36 libraries between Albany and Rensselaer County, so they're kind of doing the loop. We've been really busy the last couple of weeks. Saturday alone was 48 people in a 3-hour time frame. So that's a lot.
That's great.
Grafton.
Do you get a sense when the people from out of the community are coming to take part in the expedition that they're doing other things in town as well?
Well, we talked to them about the town store. The piece would go to the state park and the Dyke and Pine Environmental Center. So, but some of them are on, okay, I'm getting 5 libraries done today. So
Okay.
they're hitting Petersburg, they're hitting Berlin,
Right.
doing a loop. But other ones are gonna come back. We told them about the passes that we have for the state park and, you know.
Great.
And then there's been several that did the expedition 5 years ago who really are impressed with all the renovations
Oh, for sure.
that the library's done, so.
Great.
I really think it's broken. You know, there was still that COVID, I don't know if I really want to do anything kind of attitude. And I think this is like, just broken that. You know, like, let's get out of the house. We're on target with the rec committee for the Molly Durning concert. Got the ice cream truck lined up, looking at a food truck. Did check with the Boy Scouts, and they weren't interested in doing the food or the auxiliary, so we've covered our town folks. And we're doing a combined program with the Historical Society next Wednesday on the Gilded Age. That's here at 7 o'clock. So, and I have a letter for you, asking for you to start the Hunt of the Roses
Oh, thank you.
on August
Okay.
13th.
Great. Excellent. That's always fun.
So,
Any runners here for that? Every year after it, I say, I'm going to do it next year. I'm going to do it next year.
well, it's kind of funny because the folks that are on the committee, none of us are runners, and it's kind of like,
they said, well, you know, runs don't always make any money, and I said, if we didn't make any money, we wouldn't be doing it.
Thank you,
Yes,
Leanne.
you're
Thank you
welcome.
very much. All right, the Grafton Lake State Park. You know, we have the letter from them about Run for the Roses, but
And then they sent an email, but they basically just said, go to their website to see the different activities, because they have so much going on.
right, yeah, there is a lot going on at the park, so, okay.
We-
So check out the website for the state park to see what's going on there. Senior citizen representative? No, or Merrymakers Committee representative? No? Okay. Okay, for communications received, we do have the aforementioned letter from, here we go. Okay, dear Mrs. Gundrum, dear, okay. On behalf of the staff at Grafton Lake State Park and the Grafton Community Library, we would like to advise you of our upcoming 5K foot race. The 37th annual Grafton Lake State Park Run for the Roses will be held on Sunday, August 13th, 2023 at 9 a.m. As in past years, there will be a brief interruption in normal traffic flow on New York State Route 2 from approximately 8:55 until 9:15 a.m. as the runners enter Route 2 from the Park Road until they exit onto Owen Road at the post office. Our park police will be alternating traffic flow on Route 2 from the Park Entrance Road to Owen Road near the post office. Our park police officers will meet at the park office to finalize details at 8:15 a.m. We appreciate your continued support for our park programs, and without cooperation and assistance from agencies like yours, we would not be able to offer as many programs for the public. Thanks again, and if there are any questions regarding this event, or you would like to confirm you'll have officers attending, please contact us at 518-279-1155. Laura Weir, Park Supervisor 1. And as Leanna just gave me the letter inviting me to do the starter pistol, but it's, anyone wants to go, and she just was saying about other representatives from the agency. It's a good time, it's fun, and the library always does a nice book giveaway and stuff afterwards, and the rescue squad stands by, so it's a good community event, absolutely. So again, that's August 13th at the State Park from starting off at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Perfect. Okay, but get in there beforehand because they start blocking the road off.
And the hardcover brochures are printed, and I put some in the
Out here.
holder out there, whatever you call
Okay.
that.
The book rack?
Brochure.
Yeah, brochure rack. Okay, good, great. Okay, the next correspondence received, the New York State Division of Human Rights. Is that what they are? So they've come up with a new model policy for the sexual harassment and violence in the workplace policy. We adopted a fresh one based on New York State's recommendations a few years ago, and it's incumbent on town employees and elected officials to take that training every year and provide a certificate that they have taken the training. But now there have been amendments made to the policy that makes it more inclusive. There's a lot of diversity things added into the policy. So what I would like to do is ask our council to just review our existing policy and against what what NYMER and NYSDHR is recommending, and let us know if we're good. We'll forward everything.
I've done it twice already.
All right,
for other
perfect. I knew it.
municipalities.
Good.
I can
Perfect.
send it to you now.
That'd be great. Yeah, if you want, sure, that'd be great. And then we can, would the procedure be to add those in and re-adopt it?
Well, what we've done other places is, it's pretty extensive. They basically adopted a new local law that supersedes this one for your old one,
Okay, okay.
for sexual harassment.
Right, exactly, okay. Could we do that at our next meeting?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we'll have that in place.
Oh,
And then we'll
sure.
then we can start training. Will the training have changed? Are you familiar
The
with that?
training is pretty much similar. We do this for the county, and I just did it for Sand Lake, Rensselaer. So I'll send it to you. You tell me if it looks all right, because it's up to each individual municipality to tweak it
Right,
a little bit.
okay.
And then you still have to do the training. Now, a lot of places do the training through their insurance company,
Mhm.
but you could also piggyback on with the county
Okay.
if you want to do it through
We
the
want to
county.
do that, okay.
Because we don't have that many employees here.
Right, and NYMER has some good options where you can do it online. It's just
Mhm.
at your own convenience, so.
True.
Okay, all right, so that's a work in progress. Great, okay, under new business, does anyone else have any communications? No? Okay. All right, under new business, fleet management for the highway department.
Want to get prices for 3 new trucks, well, 4 technically, 2 pickups to update. One's a 2010 that you can imagine. And the warranty's coming up on the other 2. There's a 550 class truck and a 2020 F350 pickup. They're a year out to order, so I'll at least see what our stuff is worth. And I want to order a tandem truck because our one that we should replace is a 2002. It's 2 years to order that truck. And I went to Ithaca College for updates for schooling, and they were very clear: get rid of this stuff, get the most you can on trade, because everything right now used is going through the roof. I mean, another town close to here just used a truck for 4 years and got $1,500 less for it on trade than what they paid for it. Yeah, so, you know, the 2010, probably not worth a whole lot, as we know, but the other ones, let's keep our fleet updated. We're not working on trucks all the time anymore. We're out on the roads. People can see that. And, you know, with all these newer vehicles, if they're not under warranty, we all know what things cost. You know, there's another municipality just had a motor and transmission go on one of their vehicles. The motor's 20 grand, the transmission's probably 8 to 10. That's without labor. So I want to at least get this process going. Yeah, let's be proactive. I mean, they recommend get rid of the smaller trucks every 2 years. It'll be 4 years by the time they come in a year. So we have the money for it. The other one, we have a tandem truck that'll be paid for. So that's how we'll pay for the other one, is keep that payment going, because we've got to update things. It's not really a choice. So
you have more for that with us with budget season? What are you thinking?
yeah, I don't think we got to raise the budget for it, really. I mean, maybe a little increments, but that's what I plan on buying next year and the following year. So, you know, trying to have some sort of a plan ahead of us. So
Do you resell those vehicles?
Yeah. Yeah.
You sell them?
No, you do.
No, we do. Right?
Yeah, you guys do. Right.
We do.
Yeah, the town sells them.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep that stuff around.
Do we do an auction?
The older stuff generally goes to auction. The other municipality just traded it in, and they got a pile of money for the truck. So I think that's what we should do, is see what they're worth on trade, and we could always put them in auction with a reserve. If the reserve isn't met, trade it in. I'm not sure about that, except when you trade it in, you know, we all know how it works, and when you trade something in, the day the new one comes in, you trade your old one in, and it's a guaranteed number. You know, and our trucks are in such nice shape that with trade-ins, you know, there's people in line that want them. You know, we've kept them in great shape, so I would say probably trade the 2 newer ones in, the 2020s, and the 2010, send it to auction. That's what we did with the last 2008. And the dump truck, you know, we got 2 years to figure that out. So, you know, at the very worst, we auction it, and hopefully we get some decent money for it.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
thank you. All right, any other new business? All right, under old business, we have the backup for the town computer systems. We've talked about this before, but one of our last meetings, Vicki and I were speaking about not having been able to reach the gentleman that gave us the estimates and ideas of what we could do for backup, but now we've been in touch with him again, so he's on it, so to speak. All right, the town hall mold abatement project.
Mark from Ambient did a site visit on the 6th. He recommended replacing the dehumidifier as soon as possible and make sure it's draining properly. He said part of the odor in there is the gases coming back up out of that pipe, and he suggested just dumping water down in there to keep it from the gases from coming up until we can get a dehumidifier in there and working right. Also recommended that we should look into getting ventilation in there. There's ventilation to the roof, but it goes nowhere. It just stops in the attic. It's over the vault, but it's never been completed. As I understand, there was a grant years ago, and they started it and never finished it. I don't know if that's true, but that's.
Huh.
And as soon as he gets all the test results back, he will contact us and send us a full report.
So we did air quality testing.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
did multiple air
It was
quality tests throughout the whole
comprehensive.
entire building.
Mhm.
Does he do the work that
No.
needs to be done?
We have to have a company do the inspection and do recommendations on what they want, and then we have to write up an RFP
Okay.
off of those recommendations and then put it out for bid.
Okay. All right, the next is the conference room window repair.
I called 3 different companies. One company told me they weren't coming to Grafton. One guy basically answered the phone and says, I don't have workman's comp insurance. And then the third guy was nice and he gave me a quote and came out and measured the window. The quote was $290, and he will contact me once he has the glass cut and ready to be installed.
Great, excellent, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, that was under the procurement policy, so do you want them to do a motion approving that now, or
We
wait?
approved it in the last meeting, you
Oh,
gave me
the
up to $1,000,
There you go.
and it was $290. So.
Perfect, great. Good follow-up there, thank you. All right, any other old business? All right, we're on to public comment, which is the privilege of the floor. Public comment is limited to 5 minutes per person. Be mindful the public comment portion of the meeting is a privilege.
Go through this.
All comments and statements shall be directed to the town board. Please refrain from any personal attacks, name-calling, or derogatory public comments toward individuals. All right, who'd like to start this evening? Mr. Oliver.
I would certainly appreciate your help and the other cooperative councilman, Mr. Lewandowski, to encourage the folks who are responsible for submitting financial disclosure forms to the Ethics Committee to do so. We asked for them to be submitted by the end of June, and only 3 people cooperated, and we'd certainly appreciate some help. The other thing that I asked for at last meeting was a list of the new employees who are still here as of January of this year, and so that we can meet with them and go over the code of ethics with them,
Perfect.
just as all of you have done in the past.
Okay,
I appreciate your cooperation.
sure, absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you.
Would it be, okay, thank you. I'd like to visit with you just for a minute after the meeting.
Sure.
If we could, okay, great, super. All right, anyone else from the floor tonight?
Mine's old business, I was just curious about the pickleball. He was supposed to call, remember? He was supposed to get prices for putting the pickleball paint on the pickleball court. That's just an article in one of the newspapers about the popularity of it.
Okay. Did we get quotes? Who was going to get quotes?
I'll get quote on the paint, but I'm not getting quotes on the net installation.
Okay, okay.
I'm all for doing pickleball.
Can I save you some trouble? Sand Lake just had to do the same thing. If you talk to Stuart Nippies, he might be able to give you the results of his
Okay.
research on it, pricing on it.
You gotta see what exactly is involved as far as having it be a pickleball court and a basketball court. I mean, one calls for a net, one does not. I mean, if it's a pickleball court and a bunch of people show up and wanna play basketball,
First come, first served.
what's that?
First come, first served.
Well, I understand, but what if nobody's there and the next day people show up and wanna play basketball? Who's-
Right, but there's a net, you can get a net on the wheels,
Goes up and down.
so it can just, like,
Okay,
just get
I'm
pushed
just-
over to the side, or. I just don't, it's not a big expense for something that I think would get used in the town.
Mhm.
And I don't see the basketball court getting all that much use, but I'm not down there every day.
Okay,
Yeah, you can.
I
Okay,
don't know.
anyone else from?
What's involved, if there's
Yeah,
posts
yes.
or everything else out in the middle of the basketball court, you know?
If they're hard set or if they can be.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a post sit and it's gonna be, the nets are only so wide,
Mhm.
are they gonna,
Be in the way of the basketball.
encroach in the basketball court?
They would definitely have to be portable or
I'm sorry?
they would definitely have to be portable or able to take down because they would definitely interfere with basketball.
Right, right. It's just something that needs to be looked into. Right before we
Basketball.
put it through the town.
Okay, anyone else from the floor tonight? Yes, Donna Baldwin.
Can you provide an update on the RFP for the roof for the senior center? Has a contractor written that for us yet? Do we have an update?
I haven't seen anything. Councilman Lewandowski was working on an RFP. Phil, is he?
I have no idea.
Right, okay.
You asked me to do it, I'll do it.
Right,
But,
gotcha. Someone had mentioned that we need an engineer, an actual,
A licensed
expertise,
contractor, I
licensed
would
contractor.
think.
Okay, so no, I don't have an answer on that tonight.
Vicki had made mention about an air conditioner being replaced at the senior center. And Tom installing that, what type of air conditioner is that? Just a window unit or?
Yes, it's just for those offices, because that's all that one that broke, that's all it covers is that office. The one that covers the whole building actually works, as I understand it.
I thought there was a problem with the condenser.
That's what they said last week.
yeah, but what Tom had said last month was the only area that was affected by the broken one was the office
Right.
area. So he suggested putting a window unit into the office area where people sit and everything. We used to have our meetings for a while. He says that's staying cool with separate air conditioning. That's not the central air conditioning.
Right,
That's what he said.
Got 4 window air conditioners in the big main room.
They don't even have them up.
The outside unit is for the
Well, that's
2
my
offices. That's all
concern.
that covers.
Is the heat wave we had last week. And all we do is talk about non-functioning air conditioners for a vulnerable population. And I think, we've been talking about this it'll be a year in September with no solution to any problem. The other thing I'd like to bring up is, has the town ever considered hiring a maintenance person? Someone part-time, non-benefited position, perhaps someone who is retired HVAC, a retired contractor. You're landlords of 3 properties. And nothing is properly maintained until it's crisis mode. And then you're paying for contractors a lot of money and having to wait because these folks are so busy. Would the town consider putting someone on, 20, 25 hours a week who can maintain your 3 properties, do your cleaning, painting, lawn mowing? Thank you to whoever took care of the Veterans Memorial recently. It was starting to look a little disheveled. And just keep things up to date. I'd like to see the town possibly consider that, and somebody with a license that can provide these services. It makes sense to maintain the properties. You're landlords. Everything's always crisis. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. Anyone else from the floor tonight? Yes, Nancy LaRock.
I just have a question about the backup to the town computer system. Since you've already got a hold of the guy, nobody has brought anything else to you for like 3 months now, any other bids or anything, can't you just move forward and get it approved and let them start working on it? It's been kicked down the road so many times, the can is getting thin.
Okay, yeah, no, I think you're right. And in his quotes, if I recall, it was all verbal, but they were under our procurement policy, so we should just be able to pull the trigger and get it done.
Then why don't we do that instead of waiting? And that's one less thing we have under old business to worry about and keep going back to.
I think he disappeared on you for a little while.
He did for a little bit, but he's
No,
back.
I understand that.
Okay. Do you have something?
That's it, no.
That's it, okay. All right, thank you, Nancy. Anyone else tonight from the floor? Ann Calabro.
Okay, so I have a problem, and I'm asking for your assistance. As you're aware, I requested Mr. Lewandowski's emails for the past 2 years and did not receive them. I received meeting agendas, forensic audit, and 2 event flyers. So I filed an appeal, and I received a letter of denial dated June 12th, which stated that all necessary information was provided. Can you please explain how that decision was reached? And can you explain how to word my request so that I can get the actual emails to and from his email account? And I'm going to reserve my time for a minute so that I can get a response.
Well, I think Frank's the one you should get your response from. I think Frank's the one who should give you your response.
I should have, but I'm asking you guys.
We asked him if there was anything that he should have sent you. That's pretty much what we did.
Okay.
And asked him if there was anything that needed to be covered for you. Where else do we go?
He said he sent you everything.
He said
Okay.
that he sent you everything.
Okay. I'm not going to get into pointing fingers or anything, but to elaborate, New York State FOIL is designed to make government more transparent. Town officials should be aware when they do business by email that their correspondence may be subject to disclosure if requested by a member of the public. All public records are available unless an exception permits a denial of access. Public record, the definition, is a writing prepared, owned, used, in the possession of, or retained by a public body in performance of official functions at the time of creation. Records which are off limits include any record specifically exempted by state or federal statute, something that constitutes an unwarranted invasion of privacy, items compiled for law enforcement, or things that may endanger life or safety of any person. All these are based on common sense. Items which are specifically allowed include inter- or intra-agency materials, which are instructions to staff which may affect the public, final agency policies and determinations, and external audits by controller or the federal government. I got the audit. Examples of state records which have been released include internal emails, text messages from work phones, procurement contracts, and deleted social media posts. In an effort to explain my request, I'm not required to do this. I want to know what resident concerns have been addressed to Mr. Lewandowski, and by extension to the board, and how he responds to those requests, showing his mindset concerning public service. I would also like to know the process of his decision-making and policy decisions, and how he conducts business with other agencies and businesses. While he's claiming transparency and accountability, I find his FOIL response secretive and suspicious, not compliant or honest. And by the council signing the denial, it makes you all seem compliant in his non-compliance. Complicit in his non-compliance. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, John Oliver.
Hi, I had a couple questions.
John, I'm sorry. I'm
That's
sorry,
okay.
John.
You're looking at John Oliver.
Answer.
Thinking ethics.
I had a couple questions. First one, I was going to ask the town clerk, because I noticed that the town clerk took in about $3,500 or so in cash in total, of which $2,700 or so was from the town transfer station. And I was wondering if the town clerk gives receipts for things like dog licenses and any other sundry monies that come into her office. Because the dog license, for instance, is what, $3 or something like that. If you give a receipt out to somebody.
If the person wants a receipt, yes. I print up receipts and keep copies of them if they want it. If the dog license isn't enough, they do get a copy of a receipt.
Okay, because it occurs to me that 2/3 of the money coming into your office is coming in without receipts. The second thing I'd like to address would be I understand there's some air conditioners at the former Grafton School
Yes,
that were paid for by the town.
yes.
And are those the air conditioners that are being relocated or to put into the senior center? Because it seems to me if they're not being used at the town, at the former town school, and they're town equipment, they should be redeployed over to the senior center.
The town hall, the town clerk air conditioner's going down there, and one of those are going down there. And Vicky's gonna get one of those from you.
Okay, so the ones that are over at
At the school.
okay, I just didn't think that if we had air conditioners someplace else, that they should not be reused. With respect to Councilman Lewandowski's FOIL request, it appears to me that that the fox is guarding the hen house. Frank Lewandowski is making his own decisions apparently on what he wants to release that would be foilable. Ann and I have spoken because I have sent all of you emails with an attachment of letters regarding town board meetings. And Frank Lewandowski did not send those emails over to Ann, so that's a non-compliance right there. Those emails that I sent, nothing was confidential. There was no reason for him to withhold those. So just by the action of not forwarding those on to Ann, his response is incomplete. It seems to me that Frank should not be the one to be reviewing what he is sending on and what gets released, but it should be someone who's independent and who would have a legal basis for making a decision on what should be released or not. And now whether or not that oversight comes from the entire board or from legal counsel, that would be up to you. But I think that right now the system is not working. And in addition to Ann's request, I'm aware from Dave Buckley that his response for a FOIL request has also been ignored. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, John Munn. Thank you. All right, anyone else tonight? On the floor? No? Okay, all right, well, thank you. All right, we're moving on to motions and resolutions. We have resolution number 60 of 2023, an RFP for the Highway Department. Can I see yours? There we go. Nope, I got it. Okay. That's too good. All right, this is resolution number 60 of 2023, authorizing the town clerk to issue an RFP for public works contracts for chip seal, emulsions, and equipment for town roads per specifications from the highway superintendent. I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution 60. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to take that up?
I'll go with Councilwoman DeShank. Okay, seconded by Jody. Okay.
Councilman Baldry,
Yes.
Councilman DeShay,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
and Supervisor Leonard.
Yes.
Madam Supervisor, if I may, to go hand in hand with that resolution, I would ask the board to entertain scheduling and publishing notice for a special meeting to be conducted on July 24th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m.
Yeah, it's the same night.
Does that work for the board? So as to review and award the paving bids.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna publish it and only give people a week to answer?
Mhm.
Okay.
There's only 3 paving companies nearby.
July 24th, at 6 p.m.?
6:30 I said,
he said.
but that's up to you guys, whatever's
I can
good.
do whatever. Anytime after 4, I can do
Chip seal.
ASAP as soon as possible, right?
Whatever
What
time's
time can you
good.
be around, Piers?
Yeah, 6:30.
6:30 is good for you? Okay.
All right, I'd like to make a motion that we have a special meeting to review and award bids received in relation to Resolution 60 of 2023 at 6:30 p.m. on July 24th.
And to publish notice therefore.
And to publish notice therefore. Thank you, Councilor. May I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Hoyt.
Councilman Baldry,
Yes.
Councilman DeShay,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Supervisor Leonard.
Yes. Okay. All right. Now, we have a motion to pay the bills as audited. Tonight, we have vouchers number 288 through 322 for a total of $25,094.08. I'd like to make a motion to pass the bills. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Beaudry.
Councilman Baldry,
Yes.
Councilwoman DeShane,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
and Supervisor Dudley.
Yes. All right, the next meeting will be the workshop of July 24th at 6:30 PM.
But that's just for purposes of reviewing the bids.
Yes, just for purposes of reviewing the bids received in association with Resolution 60. And then the next regular meeting will be held on August 14th, 2023 at 7 PM. Now we have legislative privilege. Does anyone have something they'd like to talk about? No? Okay. All right. And this evening, we're just adjourning. We fortunately, we don't have anyone to adjourn in memory of. Is that accurate still?
Good enough last time.
It is enough, yes, yes, absolutely. All right, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. May I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Nice.
Thanks, guys, thank you.
Take care of yourself, Bill.